Good morning and welcome. This is Jody Remke. I'm the chair of the FPPC. As chair of the FPPC, I have set three main priorities for the agency: to continue strict enforcement of the law, to use technology to improve transparency, and to find common sense solutions to simplify and streamline not only the law, but our procedures. We're here today to announce a new electronic compliance system that embodies all three of those priorities. While I understand it may be hard to get too enthusiastic about a complaint form, let me stress that this is not just about the form. This is about transforming the way we do business here at the agency. This new system will make it easier for us to do our job. In particular, it will make us a more efficient agency by reducing staff time that currently is used to manually input over 2,000 complaints and referrals a year. So getting this into our system faster allows staff to focus on the substance of cases and analyze those cases. There's a lot of buzzing going on here. It will also save time and resources for other local and state agencies when they are working with us. It will improve the timeliness and accuracy of complaints that are filed.
Remember to mute your phones, please, so other people can hear.
And of course, there's getting a lot of feedback. And of course, it will provide greater transparency for the process itself, which Galina is going to explain in a minute. But in short, I think this new system will help improve the process for our staff, other government agencies, and the public. In a moment, as I mentioned, our Chief of Enforcement, Galina West, is going to walk you through the complaint process and show how it will help her staff and their work. And she's also going to touch on some of the pre-election activities that are going on right now here at the agency. I'll close by saying that the electronic complaint system is just one step in our efforts to improve our use of technology at the agency. The complaint system is part of the overall upgrade that we are undertaking for the Enforcement Division right now in our case management system. This complaint information is going to be fully integrated with the enforcement case management system. So what that means is information will be immediately used and processed in a much more efficient manner. With the new case management system, again, we will be able to be a more efficient and responsive agency. Upon its full completion and implementation of the case management system, we look forward to sharing with all of you how the new system will provide the public and the press with better access to data. That includes the status of cases in the process and easier access to case resolutions. So we'll be sharing that with you shortly. We are also, as you know, in the process of finalizing our e-filing system for Form 700s. That's going to allow the 25,000 public officials who file with us to do so electronically, again, increasing our efficiency while also improving transparency to the system. And finally, as for the common sense solutions to our world and what we do here, as some of you know, we are in the midst of our revision project. That's an attempt to completely rewrite the Political Reform Act to streamline and simplify the law. Our goal there is simple. We hope to draft a body of law in plain English to increase compliance, reduce cost of running for office, promote public understanding of the law, and strengthen accountability for all involved. So those are some of the things we're working on. Again, we're excited about this new process because we do believe it's another step forward. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief of Enforcement, Galina West.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for taking your time out of your day. I know it's super busy right before the election, but we really wanted to launch this pre-election. This is a huge component and part of our pre-election efforts to get out the word about how quickly you can file complaints and have them be acted on by the Enforcement Division. This new system is built with a Salesforce platform using force.com.
I can hear it here.
Oh, good. Could you mute your phone though? But I'm glad you can hear. And then FPPC program staff and technical staff work with a private implementation vendor called Verteba to customize the program and make it fit for what we needed. So the launch date and time is today at 2 o'clock. So after 2 o'clock today, you'll be able to use the system and file complaints and referrals. As Chair Remke said, we receive over 2,000 complaints and referrals a year, over 1,000 of those being actual referrals that are handwritten or sent to us in PDFs that then have to be inputted into our system. So even when you send us something electronically via the complaint email, it still has to be manually inputted. And this is going to save many, many hours of our time to be able to then spend the time analyzing those complaints and moving on them even more quickly. So it's really going to free up some enforcement staff time. What's also great about it is the benefit to the public. This is going to be instant access. This is mobile ready, so you'll be able to use this complaint form on your phone. If you see a campaign sign that you want to report, you take a picture, you fill out the form, and you upload the picture to the system from your phone. So this is going to make it a lot easier for people to be able to file timely complaints, especially as we get closer to the election. So we're going to do a walkthrough of the system. We're going to actually input a sworn complaint, and then we're going to show how a referral would work. So we're going to switch the screen over in just another minute. You get to see us for another minute. And then we're going to switch the screen over to where you see the new system. So right now you get to see us. Yay. And then once it switches over, you'll see the form. So remember that this new system goes live at 2 o'clock today. So if you want to start submitting your referrals and your complaints, will be easy to get them, and they'll go straight into our system without us having to do the manual typing in, which is going to be great. And I think we're almost ready. Well, maybe not. I will tell you about the 4 types of complaints that you're going to be able to submit. There's sworn. It's the same as now. So we're not making changes to what we let you submit to enforcement, but what we're doing is just making it simpler. So when you file a sworn complaint currently, you check a box saying that you're filing under the penalty of perjury and you sign it. Well, as we know, electronic signatures have come a long way. So you're going to be able to check a box saying that you're signing under penalty of perjury and hit submit. And you'll be filing a sworn complaint saying that you are saying that the facts are true. The other kinds of complaints are non-sworn and anonymous, which means that you're not 100% sure, you don't have personal knowledge of the facts. And so you're filing it as a non-sworn, not swearing under penalty of perjury.
So what you're seeing is the landing page when you go to
yes.
file electronic complaint system, and what Glenn is referring to is down the page there and the different types of complaints that can be filed.
So what you should always realize when you are filing a complaint with the FPPC, that it is a public document. We are subject to the California Public Records Act. So anything that you submit with us is a public record with very few exceptions. So that's why we've had a system of filing anonymous complaints in the past. We don't necessarily encourage it because if you file an anonymous complaint, obviously we cannot follow up with you and get information. So it's for certain circumstances when you feel like giving your name would cause you some sort of personal harm or danger. So we have that option, but you won't receive any notifications regarding your complaint. Only sworn complaints that you file under penalty of perjury give you that option, of that luxury of getting contacted about what the resolution of your complaint is. A referral has a beautiful stop sign that is only to be used by filing officers and filing officials. So if you don't know what that is, that's probably not you. So if you're a city clerk, county clerk, Secretary of State's office, we've made a streamlined program to where you can now enter your referrals directly into the system and get them acted on very quickly. So we're going to go ahead and demonstrate a sworn complaint today. And we've pre-filled out most of the fields, but you see there's the penalty of perjury box that you have to check. You're required to check that or it will not let you submit. The good thing about a web complaint form, as I'm sure you filled out and for other agencies, is that they have certain required fields. So if you don't fill out those fields, then it will tell you which fields you're missing. So here in this case, we have the complainant, Mae West, has made a complaint about her local jurisdiction in South Lake Tahoe. So she's, as you see, she filled out the email field, which is critically important because we do most of our contact via email. So giving us an up-to-date email address is the quickest way to get contacted about your case. Even if you're filing a non-sworn complaint, it's very important because if we have questions or follow-ups, the easiest way to get a hold of you is through your email. Okay, and then she's also provided all the required fields, which have the asterisks. Now she's gone on to the respondent information, who she believes has violated the act. You can put up to 15 different respondents on one complaint. Just make sure it's all related. So you want it to be related to one different item or violation. So here you can see your choices are individual, committee, or other entity. That's because if you see a company or some sort of association that you think has violated the act, we wanted to make sure that you had the option to file a complaint and include them. So here we have an individual, and she's complaining against the mayor of Ponderosa, Ben Cartwright. I know, very original. So she's put in all the information that she knows about him, but you see that the only required field is the last name, because we know that when you're making a complaint, you may not know all the information. So sometimes even if you're showing us an unidentified sign and you put unknown in this, you're giving us as much information as you have. More information is always better. She happened to have Ben's email address, which is very helpful for us. We have the limit of the 15 respondents per complaint. And then if you wanted to add an additional respondent, you would click this button and it would give you the same information and let you put it in. If you hit this by mistake, you just hit the remove button, and then otherwise it will tell you those are required fields that you have to fill out. So for violation information, this is another thing that's going to help not only the people filing the complaints, but also FPPC enforcement, because on the violation types, we have listed on the top of the pull-down menu the top 6 violations that are not under the Act. So a lot of people think that we regulate the Brown Act, false or misleading, the content of campaign materials, election fraud, federal campaigns, local ordinance or contribution limits, and vandalism.
We'll
Don't forget to mute your phone.
do it in the next D-board meeting.
Okay. So so those are the ones, the 6 different that we get the most complaints on, that we have to then take the time to send a rejection letter saying, hey, this is not under our jurisdiction. So let's pick election fraud.
It's tough for you to show up at D-board, but
And this pop-up will come up. So the FPPC does not accept complaints regarding this violation, and the alleged violation is not enforced by us. So you should contact the city attorney, the county council, or your district attorney. So this, if you choose this violation, you will not be able to submit the complaint. So it's going to help people. That way they're not waiting for a response. They haven't mailed in something about the Brown Act, and they have a week turnaround time before they can then take it to the people that can take care of that. Okay. So then you put in the proper violation. And if you know the general type, if you just have a general idea, you use the first pull down, which advertising disclaimers is the one that we've chosen for Ms. West. And the violation code section is if you then know the specifics. So you know for sure that this was a requirement on a mass mailing because it was mailed to you. And so you know a little bit more. So the second pull down is just a dependent list that then if you have more detail, you should provide it. And if you don't, it's not required. Okay, and then the witnesses, Mae West in this case, she says basically everyone is a witness. And then she put in the description of the violation, I think, right? Yes. So the description of the violation in this case is that she feels that there's been ads where she's in the background with an unflattering photo, and she did not give permission and did not say that they weren't sent at her request. So obviously that's one we will jump right on. So you providing witnesses is very important. They give us the leads. They give us the opportunity to then contact somebody. But even more important, if you scroll down just a little more, is the information the witness can provide. So anytime that you give us a witness name, that's terrific, and we're very happy that you did that. But if you can actually give us some context to what they can tell us about your the violation that you're alleging, that's even more helpful. Now, this is the part we're especially happy about, is that the evidence can be attached directly to the complaint when you submit it. So like I said, even if you're on your mobile phone, you take a picture of a campaign sign and you want to submit it, you can then download the picture. It takes JPEGs and all different types of files, and it has a very large capacity. So we should be able to get all your mailers. You can do additional attachments and campaign statements, anything that you feel is relevant to your complaint. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for you to file your complaints. So then you just do the validation to say that you're actually a living human. And luckily, Haley that's helping us here is a human, so that's good. And then once you submit it, you're going to receive a confirmation number. So no matter which type that you submit of the 4 types, you will get a confirmation number. And this is another thing that we're very happy to provide, because this is a number that you don't have to try to remember the person's name or the actual spelling of the name, or there could be some sort of miscommunication when you're talking to somebody on the phone. This is your individual complaint number that shows that we received it, and that you can then submit this to complaint@fppc.ca.gov and ask for a status update on your specific complaint. So we're very happy about that, because we think it will really help people in the future be able to get some assurance about where their complaint is, and very specifically. So that's about all the things about the sworn complaint. And then we're going to just show you the referral form briefly. The referral form is used by filing officers up and down the state, and we receive over 1,000 referrals per year. So you can imagine how much time this is going to save the FPPC in not having to input manually each of those referrals. It's going to be astronomical. But it's also going to help the clerks and filing officers, because it's going to be a very easy mechanism to make their attachments of notifications and submit their filing forms. What we've tried to do is take the existing form and make it user-friendly. So in this case, we're going to do a campaign statement non-filer. And when you look at the campaign statement non-filers, it gives you pull-down menus to choose the different statements. In this, we're doing a form 460. And it tells us the date of the election, which is very important, because sometimes, because date of election isn't on the current form. And so if you're trying to tell us something is important because it's about the upcoming election, or maybe an upcoming local election that's not on our radar, then you're going to give us this information, and we're going to take it very seriously and act on it quickly, because you've notified us at this point that this is something that we should pay attention to in a very timely manner, as opposed to somebody that didn't file a 2011 annual statement. So we kind of get to prioritize them a little easier. And then you can attach the latest filing, which is very helpful. Then we can see if a committee has not been active for years, or if it's a committee that's spending a lot of money in your local jurisdiction, and it's something that is very timely and needs to be taken care of, and they're not responding to you. So basically, then you put in your filing information. You put in your contact information. Obviously, email is the best. And you can give yourself a title, which clerk, supreme clerk, whatever it is you choose, and the name of your agency. The committee information, in this case, it happens to be Michael Jordan for Mayor's Committee, and he has not filed his statement. Do we do an additional statement? For the same respondent, you can do additional statements, just so you know. You don't have to put in filing reporting period, like if you're going to do a 24-hour statement. So you can do multiple reports and statements for one respondent or committee. Okay. And then towards the bottom, you'll add your notifications. So you'll do the treasurer information, principal officer information, and then whatever notifications that you've done. As you know, the FPPC requires 2 notifications. So if they're by mail or email, you'll attach those. And then you can add as many notifications as you send. Give us any additional comments, things that we need to know about your contact with the person, things that you would handwrite on the referral form now, and then just submit it. And you'll get your confirmation number just as you would if it was a sworn complaint. And so you'll be able to contact us directly and ask us about the status of your referral. So I know that we all talk about it. It's not a terribly exciting project, but for us in enforcement, it is a terribly exciting project. We're very excited. This is going to make huge differences in the way that we do business. And it's really going to free up the time for us to be analyzing these complaints instead of data entry of these complaints. And I think that is a huge difference. We're going to be able to coordinate with the complainant so much more quickly and to get updated email information and to be able to really move on complaints in such a timely manner is very exciting for us. So with that, I think.
So, and again, just to emphasize, that's going to go live today at 2 p.m. Obviously, with the upcoming election, we do get a surge in complaints, so we think this is perfect timing, and we're really excited to be able to roll this out now. But then, Galina, if you can just briefly touch on some of the pre-election efforts your division is working on as well.
Certainly. So our priority was to get this new web complaint form online before the election. And as you can tell, as it's October 12th and the election's November 8th, we succeeded in that mission, which we really appreciate everyone's hard work in getting to this point, because having this online and getting these complaints in a timely manner is very important to us. I know there's a lot of clerks on the line, and part of our pre-election effort's been us reaching out to all the county clerks and city clerks of cities with over 100,000 that have elections to be their support network in order to get notification of non-filers in their jurisdictions. So then that way we can reach out to these people and get them to file before the election and even the playing field in those local jurisdictions so that everybody has information about who is running in their local elections as well as the state elections. Everybody should be watching for the media releases and news releases that we do. Part of our pre-election efforts is getting admissions before the election. As you know, with commission meetings, there's one in October that the deadline for the agenda is already passed. And then there's one that the deadline for the agenda is, I believe, the day before the election is when it posts. So there's not a disclosure with monthly commission meetings before the election. So we use these press releases, these media inquiries, to let people know that we have come to an agreement with someone that has admitted to taking responsibility for a sign or an advertisement or made an amendment to their name in order to get the name information or the different advertising disclosure out before the election. So keep an eye out for those. We monitor the advertisements, both in print and broadcast, for potential violations, monitoring all the mailers that we can get our hands on. So we do encourage people to send in mailers from your jurisdiction. Let us take a look at them. And then we're reviewing the names of all the ballot measure committees for proper naming. And we're looking into committees for the dark and gray money violations, including foreign money and shadow groups. So it's a busy time of year for us, but we are always welcome to take in tips and complaints that you can give us leads on different information that we can look at. So we're trying to move on these as quickly as possible, and this new system will help us out with that.
That's great. So we're going to open it up for questions right now. And again, just because we're hearing a lot of background, if you could put your phone on mute, unless you're about to ask a question. If you're going to ask a question, please start with stating your name so we know who we're talking to. Any questions? Radio silence.
Live stream from the City
All right. So I think we really presented that well, and everything is answered. But if you do have any questions, you can always reach out to whether it's Jay or Galena, and we'll get back to you on the complaint form and what it means. But again, thank you. Thank you, Galena, for all your hard work on this. I think it is perfect timing, and we're very excited. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.